start the session. I think it's 8 o'clock, and thank you for attending the session. And before starting the session, I want to wish everyone a happy Holi and also a happy Women's Day. And on this auspicious day, we'll be starting our sessions. I hope these sessions help you in clearing CSAT this year and also in the coming years. Before starting the age questions, we'll go through some of the basic aspects of mathematics questions. So some of the important aspect that is required while solving maths questions is before solving the questions, you need to be aware of certain concepts. So without concepts, you cannot even start. You cannot even understand the question properly. So you have to start. So whenever you are learning CSAT, you have to start with the concepts. So you have to go by topic wise. You have to see what types of questions that are asked in the exam, and then you have to go topic wise and learn the concept. And after you learn the concept, you have to learn the application part of it. You have to learn, or you have to know how the concept is being applied, and how you can apply those concepts and get the answers. And just these two would not be enough. Knowing the concept of application may be enough to understand how to solve the question. But for successfully clearing an exam, you have to have a sufficient practice. So you have to at least have solved around 50 or 100 questions of a particular topic, so that you get used to those type of questions, and you don't have to do a trial and error in the examination hall. So I would request you to actually go through individual topics, learn the topics, learn the concepts, learn how to apply it, then solve as many questions as possible to strengthen the concepts. Beat it so many times that it becomes a second nature to you. I mean, these concepts or these type of questions becomes second nature to you. And most of the topics that comes in UPSC CSAT are repeated. I mean, the concepts or topics are repeated. So you kind of know what kind of questions are going to come. And once you know what kind of questions are going to come, you can learn those concepts and you can practice those concepts. And you don't have to be an expert in doing this. These 3 steps can be done by anyone. You don't have to be an expert. Yes, for some people who are from engineering background, they would have done these things and they would have a decent level of expertise in these kind of questions. But for people who are very basic, who are very new to this, you can start with these steps, learn the concept, learn the application, and practice those applications as many times as possible. And only then you will have that expertise to solve these type of questions in the examination hall. So even after you learn all these concepts, the people tend to make mistakes. And as we discussed yesterday, you have very little room to make mistakes in CSAT. For example, if you are solving maths questions, you have very little room to make mistakes. You cannot make silly mistakes. So you can learn all these steps. You can learn how to learn the concepts, learn the application part. You can do practicing, and still there may be instances where you make mistakes. So there are certain sources of the mistakes. So next we'll discuss what are those major sources of mistakes that you normally candidates tend to commit. The first mistake, what they do is they tend to not read the question properly. They don't read the question properly. They don't understand what the question is, what the question really is, or from which topic it is. And this leads to a lot of lot of consumption of the time, and also may lead to a lot of mistakes. The second aspect is I'll demonstrate how these mistakes can happen by taking an example. The second type of a source of mistakes is you'll miss out important data, or you make an error while copying that data. For example, they may say that the age of a particular person is 40, and you may take it as 80 or 42 or something. So you may just from reading the question to the till the blank page, you may make that mistake, or you may not read the data properly, or you may skip some particular data completely. So this is the second source of mistake. The third is, see what happens in maths problems is they'll give you the sentences and you have to translate the sentences into mathematical equations. So what happens is once you are translating it, you may make a mistake of not properly translating those sentences into mathematical equations. So that is also a cause of error. The fourth type is the calculation error. For example, you are multiplying, you're not multiplying correctly, you're not dividing correctly, or even if you do it while writing the answers in your rough paper, you may write something else. For example, instead of writing 3 into 3, you may write, instead of writing 9, you may write 6. And these kind of error normally creeps in under a tense condition. And the last but not the least, you forget what is really asked. So I'll teach you, I'll try to tell you the standard set of procedures or SOPs that you need to follow while solving the question so that you can reduce your mistakes and increase your accuracy. So if I have to illustrate these kind of mistakes, I'll give you an example. So in this question, in this particular question, instead of 6, so for example, this is the question. And if you are reading the question improperly, you make a mistake. So it's given that 6 years hence. That means 6 years from today. So if you don't understand this meaning properly, or if you tend to think that this happened 6 years before, then you will create a mistake. Or for example, if you are instead of 6, you are copying it as 9. Again, you can make a mistake. And here it is saying that father's age will be 3 times his son's age. Instead of 3, you can take it as 4 or 9. And instead of son's age, you may take it as, if in this case there are only father and son. But if there are for example, if there is a mother, you may consider this as 3 times of the mother's age. And the last but not the least, you may forget what you have to find out. You may calculate the age of the son, but what you are really asked is the age of the father. So if you forget that, so if you calculate the son's age and then you forget that the father's age is asked, and for example, normally the trap answers they include the son's age also here. So as soon as you find the son's age, calculate the son's age, you will be in a rush to mark it, but you may forget in that heat of moment that the age of the father was being asked. So these are the kind of mistakes that normally creep in, and you have to be very careful while doing the problem. And if you if you are very careful while even practicing the questions, that will improve your accuracy in the long term. So this is all about the basics of solving a maths question. And before that, before starting the age-related questions, I would want to discuss the basics of age-related question. Yesterday, we had suggested people to solve or go through the basics of these kind of questions so that you come a little prepared for this session. Age-related questions normally are consist of linear equations. They give you general data. You have to convert those mathematical that data into mathematical equations, that is the linear equations, and you have to translate the sentences into mathematical equations and then solve the questions. Basic computations are normally solving linear equations, finding the variables, and then it includes multiplication or division or other things. So I'll solve this question and then I'll open the floor for any further questions. So this is the first question. I'll start the timer. I'll be starting the timer right now. And after 3 minutes, you please, I would request everyone to solve these questions and then we'll discuss these questions later. Please solve these questions. I'm starting the timer. Please try to solve this question. Hi guys, the time is up. Now 3 minutes is now over. So I'll try to explain the techniques how to solve any kind of maths problem and there are certain basic rules that you need to follow. And after that, I'll be teaching you the specific techniques that you need to solve or you need to use to solve this kind of question. So basically, when you are trying to solve any mathematics question, the standard recommendation is you read the question twice. Read it very slowly, understand each and every line and every word of the question, and read it twice. And mark all the data that is given, and also mark what is needed to be calculated. For example, in this question, they are saying that 6 years hence, a father's age will be 3 times his son's age, and 3 years ago, father was 9 times as old as his son. What is the present age of the father? The first and the foremost thing is you have to find out what you have to calculate. In this case, you have to calculate the father's age. Let F be the father's age. So you have to calculate what is the father's age. So in the question paper, please mark something like this so that you don't ever forget what you need to mark or what you need to mark in the answer choices. And then we'll come to the question. So the standard technique, what you have to use in this kind of questions is you have to see what kind of time period they are talking. For example, in this question, they are saying that 6 years hence means from now, a father's age will be 3 times his son's age. If you don't understand what is hence, you can find, if you read will be, it means in the future. So they are saying it will be after 6 years, the father's age will be 6 times the son's age. And 3 years ago, that is from today, 3 years back, the father's age was 9 times as old as his son. So what I would suggest is you write a timeline here. So let T be today, and they are saying T plus 6, and there's one more time, that is 3 years ago, that is T minus 3. So these are the 3 timelines that is there. You make a chart like this, and you have to make this kind of chart so that it becomes easy and intuitive to solve. And then you have the father here and son. Okay. So let the father's age today be F and son's age be S. And for example, if today's father's age is F, after 6 years, his age would be F plus 6. And son's age would be S plus 6. And 3 years back, father's age would be F minus 3. And the son's age is S minus 3. Now, once you are done with this, you go back again to the question and you read what the statement is. 6 years hence, the father's age will be 3 times his son's age. So after 6 years, they are saying the father's age would be 3 times. S plus 6 is the son's age. The father's age will be 3 times. So F plus 6 is equal to 3 times the son's age, S plus 6. So this is the first, you've solved this, you open the brackets, F plus 6 is equal to 3S plus 18. So be careful whenever you are multiplying this. Normally people tend to multiply this and then forget to multiply 3 into 6. So you please be careful. And then once you are done with this, you move the variables to one side. So for example, you need to find, in this question, you need to find out F. So you keep F here and you move this 3S to the left side. It becomes, if it is positive, when you move it to across the equal sign, it becomes negative. F minus 3S is equal to 18 minus 6, that is 12. So this is the first equation. Then, if you read the question now, and here they are saying 3 years ago, father was 9 times as old as his son. So 3 years ago, the father's age was F minus 3 and the son's age was S minus 3. And according to the statement that is given, 3 years ago, father's age was F minus 3 is equal to, this was 9 times the age of son. So F minus 3 is equal to 9S minus 27. F minus 9S is equal to, this is minus 3 becomes plus 3 minus 27. F minus 9S is equal to minus 24. This becomes equation 2. We bring this equation here. f minus minus is equal to minus 24. And what you can do is you multiply any one equation. You want to cancel the s and you want to keep f. So you can multiply this equation, the equation 1 by 3. So you get f 3f minus 9s is equal to 36. 12 3s are 36. And then f minus 9s is equal to minus 24. And then you can subtract it. This becomes minus, this becomes plus, and this becomes plus. So this gets cancelled out. Then 2f is equal to this, becomes 60, and f is equal to 30. So this is what is asked. So if you mark this here, so you can easily find out what is you need to find out. So you had to actually calculate the value of f and mark the father's age. The answer is D. So one more thing, the next question. I'll same like the last question. I'll give you 3 minutes. You try to solve. You use this technique and try to solve the question. So first of all, you make this timeline. You make the chart. You write the characters on this column, and then fill this chart, and then come back to the question. Read the question again. Make these equations, and then try to solve the question. So this is the second question. So I'll be starting the timer. So please solve the question. Guys, 3 minutes is done. I hope you have solved the question. If you want more time, you can take another 30 seconds. I guess this question is a bit lengthy. One step, just there is one additional step that is required. Apart from this, these are the standard questions. So I'll be starting. I'll start to solve the question in another 30 seconds. So if you want, you can hurry up. Please try to solve the question. Even if you get stuck, you can ask me later. If you have any doubts, you can even ask your doubts in Kannada also. I'll try to answer those queries in Kannada itself. Don't feel shy. Please feel free to ask your questions. I hope you have done the question. So we'll solve the questions. So the first, you always remember that the standard procedure is you read the question twice. You read the question twice, even before you start solving it. And then once you read the question twice, you find out what is to be calculated. Find what is to be calculated and what is to be marked as the answer. So what is to be calculated? What do you need to calculate? And then make the chart. For example, here, the age of the mother before 2 years was 8 times the age of the daughter. After 1 year, the mother's age will be 5 times the daughter's age. See, whenever you are reading these questions, be very careful about the commas and the full stops. After how many years from now, the mother's age will become 3 times the daughter's age. So we'll first find out what are the time periods that are involved. The age of the mother before 2 years. So you have T, then you have T minus 2. And after 1 year, you have T plus 1. And then they are asking after how many years the mother's age will become thrice the daughter's age. So you have T, then you have T minus 2, that is 2 years before. Then you have T plus 1. And then you have, they have not given the next time period. They're asking what was the time. So we can take it as X. So we don't know when the mother's age will become 3 times the daughter's age. So we'll take that year as number of years as X. So we'll make this chart. So we have only 2 characters here, the mother and the daughter. Mother and the daughter. So let the mother's age be M, let the daughter's age be D, and you can fill the chart here. M becomes M plus 1, D becomes D plus 1, this becomes M plus X, D plus X, this is M minus 2, and this is D minus 2. So once this is filled, so and one more thing is you need to find out here, you need to find out X. Let you mark this as X here in the question paper. So now read the question. The age of the mother before 2 years was 8 times the age of the daughter. So age of the mother is M minus 2 is equal to 8 times 8 into daughter's age is D minus 2. Okay, this is one equation. Then one more equation is after 1 year, the mother's age will be 5 times the daughter's age. So mother's age after 1 year is M plus 1, that is equal to 5 times D plus 1, the daughter's age. So you have two equations and then you can solve the variables. So this equation is M minus 2 is equal to 8D minus 16. And you can, you need to find both the values of M and D in this case. So M minus 8D is equal to this. If 2 comes here, it becomes plus 2. And minus 16 becomes minus plus 2 minus 16. And M minus 8D is equal to minus 14. This is one equation. Another equation is M plus 1 is equal to 5D plus 5. M minus 5D is equal to 4. This 5 minus 1 becomes minus 1, 4. So you have these two equations. So write it here. M minus 8D is equal to minus 14. M minus 5D is equal to 4. You can subtract this. Plus and minus. So M cancels. And this becomes minus 3D is equal to minus 18. Since the sign of this is both negative, you have to add it. Minus 14 minus 4 is minus 18. Then minus 3D is equal to minus 18. Then D becomes 6. And then you can substitute it anywhere here. For example, here, if it's M minus 5 into D, 30 is equal to 4. M is equal to 34. So you have found out the age of the mother and the age of the daughter. But what you have to find out is you have to find out when the mother's age would be 3 times the daughter's age. For example, let that year be X. So they are saying mother's age, it is M plus X, becomes 3 times the daughter's age, it is D plus X. And so you can substitute the value of M and D here. So M is 34 plus X is equal to 3 into daughter's age is 6 plus 4. So you can solve this question. 34 equation, 34 plus X is equal to, sorry, this is not 4. This is X. This is 18 plus 3X. So I would move this X here, 18 to this side. So this 3X minus X is equal to 34 minus 18. So this becomes 2X. This becomes 16. And then X is equal to 8. So after 8 years, the mother's age would become 3 times. So for example, you can just check whether the mother's age will become 3 times or not. So after 8 years, the mother's age will become M plus X, that is 34 plus 8, that is 42. And daughter's age will be 6 plus 8. 6 plus 8 is 14. So 14 threes are 42. So the answer is B. You need to find out X. The X value is 8 I have also cross-checked it once more, and I agree this is a bit lengthy. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you don't have any doubts, we'll move to the next question. Okay, I think there's no more doubts. So we'll move to the next question. Please solve the question in the same technique. I'll give you 3 minutes. No, thing is you have to read the question twice. So read the question twice. 10 years ago, Ram was 5 times as old as Shyam, but 20 years later from now, he will be only twice as old as Shyam. How many years old is Shyam now? So what we need to find out is, we need to find out the age of Shyam currently. So Shyam's age, in market year, so that you don't forget. And the timelines here are that, for example, 10 years ago, and then 20 years later. So we have t minus 10, and 20 years later, that is t plus 20. We have 3 timelines here, and the characters are Ram and Shyam. So let Ram, the age of Ram be R, and age of Shyam be S currently. So ultimately, we need to find what is the value of S. So the age of Ram becomes, after 20 years, will become R plus 20, S plus 20, R minus 10, S minus 10. So what they're saying is, 10 years ago, Ram was 5 times as old as Shyam. So 10 years ago, Ram's age was R minus 10, and he is 5 times as old as Shyam, S minus 10. So R minus 10 is equal to 5S minus 50. R minus 5S is equal to minus 40. Minus 10, if it becomes this side, if it goes, it becomes plus 10. Minus 40 and plus 10 is minus 40. This is equation 1. And then the another equation is, but 20 years later from now, so t plus 20, he will be only twice as old as Shyam. So Ram would be only twice as old as Shyam. Shyam's age would be S plus 20. R plus 20 is equal to 2S plus 40. R minus 2S is equal to plus 20. So you just can, for example, write it here. 2S is equal to plus 20. And you can solve for the value of S and then substitute. So here in this case, they have only asked S itself, so you can directly eliminate this. This is minus 5 plus 2S is minus 3S. This minus 40 and minus 20 is minus 60. S is equal to minus 60 by minus 3. That equals to plus 20. Plus 20, yes. So S is 20. Option A is the correct answer. So before marking the question, read the question again, so that you ensure that you have not missed any sentences or any data, and find out what value you have to calculate. In this case, you have to calculate S and mark S. So S is 20 here. So I'll open for any questions that you have. Please raise your hand if you have any questions. In a doubt, either if you have got stuck in any part, please ask. So please don't go from here without clearing all your doubts. Okay, I think there are no more doubts regarding this question. So this would be the pattern of the workshop from tomorrow. So we'll be giving you the questions. So I think there are around another 15 or 20 questions more. So we'll try to cover around 10 questions tomorrow, and after that we'll try to solve the UPSC questions and then move on to the next section, next topic. So if you have any general doubt, you can ask now this particular type, and if you find any difficulty, you can ask tomorrow in the class. Okay, thanks for attending the session. We'll be ending the session here. Thank you.